The first use case you think about blockchain is payments, right? So that's the first thing you want to do, is show that you can secure a payment mechanism just like Visa, MasterCard, but much more secure, without middlemen, take away the fees, offers economies of scale. So the more people use it, the cheaper it gets. The way we view the future of value in the long term, 3 to 5 to 10 years, we view layer 1 blockchains will essentially become like the new republics. These will be the new mechanisms where all the value is going to proliferate to the future. There'll be the layer 1 blockchain, there will be the mining market, there'll be the dApps, and there'll be tokens. So the lower you get in the stack, the lower risk you have, but the lower rewards. The highest risk reward will be on the layer 1 blockchain, because that's where all the value will flow up. But it's highest value, highest risk. We view layer 1 blockchains, which is Bitcoin, Syscoin, Ethereum, as court systems. They need to be combative to the external forces that we don't control, even in the software world. In the real world, like inflation, hyperinflation, wars, these systems need to be secure from that. And this is why we view Bitcoin as the gold standard for security and decentralization. What else does the world need? What else does the world cherish when you have something like Bitcoin? How can we extend that to something else where we can take advantage to build real world utility? This is where Ethereum comes in. For me, Ethereum is a gold standard for flexibility or general computation. We're trying to stick to the gold standards we know the world's going to cherish and develop on, and we put those two concepts together. And this is what Syscoin is.
I probably should have tested that first before I came on. All good. Hold on. Might help if I turn my camera on. That might help, I'm sure. Let's see. There we go. What up, people? In case you're not familiar, I am
that Hotep Jesus dude. That Hotep Jesus dude.
What up, y'all? Great news today. Before we get into that, I'm gonna have to take the red pill. Give me a second. Let's unlock the power of our minds. Get into today's presentation. First of all, today's presentation is sponsored by Syscoin. Best of Bitcoin and best of Ethereum. Using the security of Bitcoin through a technology called merge mining. Smart contracts from the Ethereum technology to bring you some of the highest transactions per second in the crypto industry, rivaling Visa. If you want to build on this blockchain technology, some of the best blockchain technology in the world, go to hotepjesus.com/Syscoin or go to hotepjesus.com, hit the Syscoin logo, fill out the form, and somebody will reach out to you expeditiously because it is in their favor to do so. hotepjesus.com/Syscoin or hotepjesus and hit the Syscoin logo, fill out the form, and start building on some of the best blockchain technology in the world. With that being said, oh baby, let's go ahead and let's pop this out first. I probably should have had my screen set up. The only reason why I don't is because I was working on this.
China!
I needed that sound bite, and I had to take a second to get that sound bite, and it's definitely worth it. It's going to come in handy for today's presentation. Shout out to my Rumble chatters. Where's my Rumble people at? I could have sworn I just had it up here. Where's Rumble? Okay, here's Rumble. Let's put Rumble there. Okay. Boom. All right. So I see my Rumblers. Shout out to my Rumblers. Make sure I can see my Rumblers. Make sure I can see my YouTubers. All right. let's get the first piece of information on your screen. Hold on 1 second. Let's go here, here, here. Wonderful. Excellent. You guys should all be able to see that on your screen now. Let's fix this so it looks nice and crispy. November 17, 2022, Committee Oversight and Reform. A president compromised. The Biden family investigation. It's about damn time. It's about damn time. We done had all types of investigations against Trump. It's our turn now, niggas. It's our turn now. Interim staff report, House Committee on Oversight and Reform. Republicans. Let me get comfortable here. Let me lean back and get comfortable. This could get lengthy. Executive summary. So it says here, evidence by Committee on Oversight. And actually, let me read the from the very beginning because this is juicy. During the 2020 presidential campaign, then presidential candidate Joseph Rahim Biden assured the American people he was not involved in his family members' multi-million-dollar global business deals. He assured Americans he had always remained apart from his family's business interests while he was vice president. Thank you for the super chat. I'll get to the super chats at the end. I appreciate you. Evidence obtained by Committee on Oversight and Reform Republicans shows these assurances were false. President Joe Biden has participated in his family's global business ventures with America's adversaries. He has misused his public positions to further his family's financial interests. These actions have created the potential for President Biden to be susceptible to influence, blackmail, extortion by a malign or foreign entity, including the Chinese Communist Party. Now, initially, I was going to pull up the Fox News article, and I was going to pull up the press conference today with Comer. But after getting my hands on the PDF, I thought, let's just dive right into the source. You know, I like dealing with source material. Why go based upon this secondhand stuff? Let's go right to the document that's providing us this juicy political nourishment of scandal. A review of Hunter Biden's abandoned laptop, as well as information from whistleblowers, reveals a decade-long pattern of influence peddling, national security risks, and political cover-up. So influence peddling, basically clout chasing or leveraging his last name for money and power. Biden family members use their connections with Joe Biden to enrich themselves through the expectation of access to Joe Biden and promises about what a future Biden administration might do for them. There are numerous unanswered questions raised by these suspicious activities that warrant further investigation. During the final weeks of the 2020 presidential election campaign, the media's response to Hunter Biden's abandoned laptop, full of documents detailing suspicious business deals worth millions of dollars, was not to report this information, but to hide it. Some outlets were frank about their disdain for the story. An official NPR Twitter account tweeted to its audience, "We don't want to waste our time on stories that are not really stories." In addition, big tech actively suppresses information on social media. Twitter blocked users from posting links to stories about the laptop's contents. It even locked the New York Post account for refusing to take down the article. Facebook used its algorithm to limit the spread of stories about the laptop. Intelligence officials, who are now television pundits, labeled the Hunter Biden laptop story as Russian disinformation. This is straight out of the book 1984 by George Orwell and the Ministry of Truth, and how they pigeonhole and burn the truth. Committee Republicans investigation has uncovered evidence demonstrating deliberate, repeated deception of the American people, abuse of the executive branch for personal gain, use of government power to obstruct the investigation and prevent transparency, and potential violations of the United States Constitution's foreign emoluments clause. The president's personal participation in his family's global business ventures, committed through and by a complex network of relatives and associates to enrich the Biden family. He has exposed the United States to national security risks that could be leveraged by our enemies to undermine the office of the president. Committee Republicans are aware of the existence of additional evidence implicating the Biden family business ventures in suspicious activities have been obstructed by our attempts to obtain that information. The Department of Treasury is in possession of at least 150 suspicious activity reports related to Biden family members, financial transactions. So real quick, let's just stop right there. We know that some information has hit the internet. Here, I'll show you really fast. Let's pull this up on the screen. Where are we? Hopefully I saved this. Did I save it? Here it is. Found it. Let's put this on your screen. And we'll come back to that. We'll come back to this in just a moment. Hold on. But first, let's go here. So, New York Times event. Let me put this on your screen so you can see it. This New York Times event was scheduled for next week, November 30th. I'm sorry, it's probably 2 weeks from now. About features none other than CEO of FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, President Volodymyr Zelensky, Mark Zuckerberg, and U.S. Department of Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. It's a small club and we ain't in it. It's a small club and we ain't in it. So, if you've been following along, you know that this gentleman on the left, Sam Bankman-Fried, is under investigation, actually. We all know about Zelensky. We know that Zuckerberg and Facebook pigeonholed the story, suppressed the Hunter Biden laptop story. And then we have Janet Yellen, Secretary, Department of Treasury, and they were supposed to be speaking at this event. Now let's go back. Let's go back. So, Janet Yellen is in bed with these guys, working with these guys. And right here, it shows that the Department of Treasury is in possession, Janet Yellen's folk, 150 suspicious activities reports, aka SARS, related to the Biden family members' financial transactions. Now, despite numerous formal requests by committee Republicans to review those SARS, and despite decades of precedent of Treasury making SARS available pursuant to congressional requests, the Biden administration changed a long-standing policy and now refuses to produce Biden family SARS or to make them available for committee Republican investigators in camera review. Let's continue. President Biden's actions and his administration's obstruction. I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me get my my chatters back up on screen here. See my good folk. All right. Let's come back. President Biden's actions and his administration's obstruction of this investigation raise important questions that deserve answers for the American people. The president misled American people during his 2020 campaign for the presidency, and he continues to be untruthful every time he repeats or fails to repudiate the false narrative that he had no knowledge or discussions with his family about their business dealings. To date, committee Republicans have sent over 100 document requests to numerous entities, including the White House and the Department of Treasury, Janet Yellen, and have not received a single document from the administration. Surprise, surprise. Despite attempts by the Biden administration to obstruct the investigation, committee Republicans will continue to pursue these matters to provide transparency to the American people and to inform political legislation or other congressional actions needed to remedy any national security threat and to prevent corruption, fraud, waste, and abuse by government officials, including President Biden. So here we have the table of contents. Let's skip over that. So, this section here is talking about New York Post. It says committee Republicans review a copy of this laptop, raise questions why the New York Post was so hastily and forcefully suppressed by social media platforms such as Facebook and Twitter. After committee Republicans obtained and began reviewing the contents of the laptop, the investigation expanded to include discussions with knowledge. Yeah, exactly, Chad. Whistleblowers, formal requests for additional documents and communications relevant to our inquiry from both the federal government and private entities. So here we have the section. The Treasury Department's refusal to provide suspicious activity reports suggests obstruction. So that's what that section is about. We're just going to skip over that section. It's pretty boring. And let's jump right to this section. Now here it says the Treasury Department refused to provide any documents or information with the assistance of the Treasury Department. However, committee Republicans obtained several SARs, suspicious activity reports, that implicate Hunter in criminal activity. For example, J.P. Morgan Chase generated a SAR which implies Hunter Biden had some connection to a sex trafficking operation and raises troubling questions about what illegal activity the SARs being withheld by the Treasury Department may reveal. So then here we have a copy of the SAR from J.P. Morgan Chase. And you see here I have highlights. Each appear to be adult entertainment industry, receiving payments from Hunter and a company called Owasco. So let's stop there. Let's go to Exhibit B. Or C in this case. Let's put this on your screen. Here we have open database of the corporate world. I have you company number, incorporation date, January 19th, 2006. Dissolution date, September 2nd, 2021. District of Columbia. And if you scroll down, you'll see right there inactive directors and officers, and you'll see Robert Hunter Biden as the executing officer and governor. So this is his company registration information there. Okay, let's go back. Bing bong. So this is Owasco. So this Owasco company may be associated with prostitution or adult entertainment services. Redacted is a NY resident and employed at Scores NY, a high-end gentleman's club. She received 3 quick pays for $3,500 from Hunter between 12/28 in 2017 and 3/26/2018. Redacted is an NY resident and employed as freelance. Per internet research, she is a social media influencer and adult entertainer. She received 6 quick pays for $62.50 from Hunter Biden. And they have the dates there. Another redacted person is a CA resident and employed with Call Girls, a gentleman's club. She received 2 wires totaling $6,000 from Owasco PC. They have the dates there, 2018. 3 quick pays for $2,500 from Hunter Biden. The dates are there. And another, I guess, lady is a CA resident currently employed with FSS Management between June 2018, October 2018. Blank was employed by Owasco PC as evidenced by her receipt of biweekly payroll remittances from Owasco. However, during the same time period, redacted, also received large round dollar wires from Owasco, which referenced new hire, 8K wage, 10K golf member, and pay, redacted name. Receive 5 wires totaling $44,500 in a 4-month period. That's in 2018. And then they have more redacted names. Will be listed as subjects because they were either listed as subjects in prior SAR filings for transactions consistent with possible human trafficking, or for their association in the adult entertainment industry and potential association with prostitution. The transactions involving the additional individuals named in this narrative and found within the attached CSV. Can't read that. It's cut off. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So we see sex trafficking, implications of human trafficking. Let's continue. While the Biden administration's Treasury Department publicly claims it is cooperating with committee Republicans' investigation, this is not true. According to Treasury, SARs are made available to members of Congress regardless of party. Treasury has publicly stated it has made SARs available for every request they receive, but this is not true, as a single request by Republicans working this investigation has not been accommodated. Just as concerning, the Biden administration changed longstanding Treasury policy of providing SARs to congressional committees. So Biden has basically changed the rules and said, look, no. We're not going to be providing SARs. Why would he do that? Under the Biden administration policy, no committee is able to obtain SARs for review. Instead, if the Department of Treasury chooses to cooperate, congressional staff must review these complex financial documents in camera at Treasury. Republicans have not received, so basically you can't take them back to your office and take your time and review them. You got to do it right here, right now, under our supervision. Republicans have not received an adequate explanation for this change of policy and question whether Treasury changed the rules to hamper congressional scrutiny of certain individuals, entities, or organizations, including the president and his family. As Republicans pointed out in their letter, the reversal in policy even raised concerns among Democrats, leading Chairwoman Maxine Waters to sponsor a bill requiring Treasury to provide the reports to Congress. So even Maxine Waters like, hold on now. This ain't cool. What's going on here? We're going to need this to nail Donald Trump. What's going on here? I guess Maxine Waters wasn't in on it. She wasn't on that phone call. She wasn't in on that meeting. Nobody clued her in. Let's be careful of what messages we retract in the chat. I just saw Montoya's chat was retracted. It looked okay. Let's be mindful and not just retract anything, people. Thank you. You want to have some sort of free speech in my chat. Okay. So if the president or his agent used the federal government to obfuscate his role in his family's ventures, he is abusing the power of the office of the president. Committee Republicans have written multiple letters to Treasury filing requests for SARS as more information has been uncovered regarding the Biden's connections to
China
and the Chinese Communist Party. These requests, too, remain unanswered. Congressional Democrats have been unwilling to engage or consider the merits of the evidence accrued against the president. Congressional Democrats have not joined Republican letters, have denied Republican requests for subpoenas, and have even voted down attempts to compel the Biden administration to produce related documents. I got you, Montoya. Let's continue. So basically, the Democrats are like, yeah, nah, we're not going to go along with this. Veto, smackdown, filibuster, the usual. In July 2022, Oversight Committee ranking member Comer introduced House Resolution 1243, which would have officially requested the president release information about his family and various corporate entities set up to do business around the world. Committee Democrats unanimously voted to prevent the resolution from going to the House floor, despite committee Republicans showing evidence of the Biden family's connection to
China
during the committee markup. Of note, no committee Democrats defended the decision by Treasury to change the policy for providing SARS to Congress. The White House has given no indication the administration will cooperate with this investigation. Instead, reports indicate the White House is hiring staff and spending over $250,000 at taxpayers' expense, specifically assigned to thwart this investigation and other probes. I got you, Montoya. No worries. Sometimes Natasha Kayleen got a hot trigger button, or one of my other mods. All right, so here we got the section in big tech censorship raises questions about helping the Biden campaign. We all know about that. Here we have the New York Post. The Hunter Biden laptop story provides a starkest example of reflexive and partisan behavior by big tech to benefit Democratic political candidate and affect election outcomes. On October 14, 2020, the New York Post published a first report on a laptop legally recovered after its abandonment in Delaware computer repair shop. Now, I think it's just interesting that right after elections, we get regulated liability network exposed. We get FTX exposed. And now this. I got to say the Republicans are quite generous to wait until after elections to pull this out of their ass, which doesn't quite make me happy. Y'all should have been pulled this out, man. Why was y'all holding on to this? Y'all should have dropped this like a week before the elections. What's wrong with y'all? You was sitting on this? You was sitting on this? Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Anyway, let's go on. Social media companies' actions to suppress the story were dramatic, unprecedented, and raised concerns among committee Republicans. The day of the New York Post reporting, October 14, 2020, Facebook and Twitter took steps to limit the story's distribution among its users. Drawing on a vague 2018 policy, Twitter removed the Post story, alleging that it could be used to incentivize hacking by allowing Twitter to be used as distribution for possibly illegally obtained materials. So basically, Twitter was like, yeah, we have this ambiguous policy in our TOS or whatever. It says, oh, well, if this was obtained by hacking, then, we have to suppress it. Meanwhile, Twitter did not provide evidence that material in a Post story was accessed or obtained through hacking, or for that matter, any illegal activity. The same day, Twitter locked out the Post from its Twitter account, preventing it from sharing or posting content even unrelated to the Biden family. The next day, Twitter appended warning labels to the information. The Post remained locked out of its account for 2 weeks. I don't understand how you can be a sane individual, how you could call yourself a moral American and not see the corruption involved in this, not admit it, not call it out, simply because you've been conditioned to hate Donald Trump and Republicans. Meanwhile, the people are literally being exposed for the very thing they accused Trump and the MAGA Republicans of. Twitter also locked out White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany from her account because she shared the story. Think about that. Big Tech locked out the press secretary. Now, what would happen if Elon locked out Karine Jean-Pierre from her account? Do you know what would happen? You know what? The media would go ape. Ape. People would lose their mind. They'd be screaming misogyny and racism and misogynoir. Fascism. 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 They'd be pulling Elon into House and Senate hearings. All types of legislation would be drawn up in bills and whatnot. They would lose their mind if Elon did that. Meanwhile, they hushed the White House press secretary. The highest office in the building, in the world. The highest office in the world. The mouthpiece for the highest office in the world. On October 28, 2020, Facebook Chief Executive Officer Mark Zuckerberg told the Senate Commerce Committee that his company throttled the spread of the New York Post reporting after being warned by FIBA to be on heightened alert about hack and leak operations in the final days before 2020 election. Later, Mr. Zuckerberg acknowledged Facebook and had altered its algorithm to limit the story from being seen by many of its users. So we're all familiar with that. We don't have to read no more. We're all familiar with the big tech overreach. I wonder if I skipped a piece. No, it's coming up. Okay. So let's continue. So that's a section on big tech. Okay, here we go. Oversight requests in the 117th Congress. On April 20th, 2022, ranking members James Comer wrote to Twitter Chief Executive Officer Parag Agrawal, explaining some of the facts Republicans had discovered since the last correspondence with Twitter on the matter, including the fact that Hunter Biden has engaged in all manner of international business, from consulting for a Ukrainian energy company to assisting the Chinese in gaining access to cobalt mines in Africa.
China!
Often to the detriment of U.S. interests. And a Chinese energy conglomerate and its executives paid $4.8 million to entities controlled by Hunter Biden and his uncle.
China!
Sorry, I had to adjust the volume on my sound bite there. Is that too loud? Good. The Chinese part is going to get crazy. I'll continue. I'm not going to stop and explain here. I just want to highlight where have this whole thing about, Viva la Ukraine. Meanwhile, they're doing business with Ukrainian energy company. For many of you, none of this is new. Twitter has not acknowledged whether it has preserved the requested information. Now watch this. Upon Twitter's acquisition and reversion to a private company in October 2022, committee Republicans wrote the new leadership and reiterated the previous requests made to the company. On October 28th, 2022, Republicans wrote owner of Twitter, Elon Musk, requesting documents and information about the company's role in the 2020 election, reiterating its former requests. Twitter has not acknowledged whether it has preserved the requested information. Elon is no ally. I do not think Elon is an ally. I think he's posing as an ally for his own personal benefit. I've said this several times, and I can't really fault him for it. He's a businessman, right? He's doing what he wants to do. I just don't want the right, conservative, libertarians to keep idolizing this individual like he's going to do something for us. He's cleaned up Twitter a lot. I cannot say he hasn't, but somebody questioned the results the other day from midterms and they were suspended. That's Terrence Williams. He was locked out of his account. So Twitter has much to do as far as censorship is concerned and complying with Republicans on this investigation. Let's continue. So involved in this, it says part 3 here, the investigation has expanded to include Biden family members and associates profiting off public office. So here you have Valerie Biden, who I believe, what does it say here? Is a sister, right? Yeah, a sister. And then you got Frank Biden. Okay. Now you see here, shout out to Joe Rogan and the Joe Rogan Experience for providing some of the evidence that they used in this report. Also, we got his brother James and also Hunter Biden. Okay, we're not going to go into all of that. He'd be here forever dissecting every piece of this. So let's just continue. It's just family business dealings. This section here is basically just showing how Biden knew about his family's dealings. He was involved in them, even though he said he was not. They're using his name for clout, et cetera, et cetera. But I want to get to the juicy stuff. We ain't got all day. Let's get right to the juicy stuff. All right here. Matter of national security. The Biden's connections to Russia and Ukraine raise questions regarding sanctions. So let's go down. So here we have a picture of Joe and Hunter Biden in the Hamptons with Devin Archer and an unknown individual. Okay. And it talks about, some dealings with Archer and some scams. Here we have Joe and Hunter Biden with Kazakh oligarchs. And here we have some oligarchs and Joe and Hunter next to that big money. Emails obtained by the committee show that after his meeting, Burisma executive Vadim Bozarsky discussed meeting with Joe Biden. So again, now this is Russian collusion. Anyone talking about Russian collusion? Russian collusion's all through this report with lots of evidence. But let's go here. So it says committee Republicans are also concerned about evidence that in 2014, Elena Baturina, a Russian billionaire and former wife of mayor of Moscow, Yuri Luskov, paid Hunter Biden's company over $3 million. In February 2022, the Biden administration imposed sanctions on certain Russian individuals after the war in Ukraine began. Certain names were not included on the publicly available list, and notably absent was Baturina, Russia's wealthiest woman worth well over $1.4 billion and a Russian oligarch. Imagine that. On April 21st, 2022, 19 committee Republicans requested information from the Department of Treasury regarding the unpublicized Russians subject to sanctions. The Department of Treasury did not provide the documents requested. So imagine this. We're supporting this war in Ukraine. Biden has, I don't even know what the total count of money and aid we've sent over to Ukraine is, but Biden has been pumping money into the Ukraine. Meanwhile, he placed sanctions on certain Russian individuals, but the wealthiest Russian woman, or the wealthiest woman in Russia, is exempt. is exempt. Is it because she was involved in paying Hunter Biden's company over $3 million? Is that why? Is this Russian collusion? Let's go to the next section. Matter of national security. The president's ties to
China
and the Chinese Communist Party raise questions of conflicts of interest. Hunter's pitch to Chinese investors was access to his father, Joe Biden. In September of 2011, while his father was vice president, Hunter wrote in an email that his value to Chinese investors has nothing to do with me and everything to do with my last name. And here we have a copy of that email. He told one potential Chinese investor that we should be able to achieve a great deal. Just give me my marching orders. Oh yeah, we're gonna get to the Office Space. We haven't touched that yet. We getting there, sketch. We getting there. Chinese investors were not paying Hunter for his expertise. They were paying for access to then Vice President Joe Biden for providing him marching orders. Throughout the investigation, committee Republicans have examined a number of Hunter Biden's corrupt business dealings in
China.
This includes an investment fund co-owned by the Bank of
China
and Hunter Biden. His strategic relationship with one of the largest oil companies in
China
and his close relationships with individuals tied to the Chinese Communist Party. So, actually, I don't have to explain it because it's going to be explained in the next section. So CEF is the Chinese Energy Commission, I guess you can call it, organization. On September 20th, 2022, committee Republicans wrote Secretary of Treasury Janet Yellen about Hunter Biden's relationship with CEFC, a Chinese firm closely associated with the Chinese Communist Party. CEFC, at the time of Hunter Biden's business involvement, was one of the largest oil companies in
China.
The letter detailed Hunter Biden's plan to sell U.S. natural gas to
China,
enrich himself and his family, and involve Joe Biden. Now we look at the things that Joe Biden has said about fracking, his moves in regards to oil and energy, Green New Deal. Meanwhile, this report is saying that Hunter Biden wants to sell our natural gas to China. He wants to sell our natural gas to
China.
Wow. Committee Republicans. So when people say like the Democrats is like, you know, they work for China, it just showed you in the email. He said, give me my marching orders. And you're going to see how it's an employee in just a moment. Committee Republicans provided the Department of Treasury a PowerPoint presentation emailed to Hunter Biden concerning the sales of American natural resources to
China.
The presentation, when translated from Mandarin Chinese, is entitled Overview of the U.S. Natural Gas Industry Chain. Included in the presentation sent to Hunter Biden are detailed political and topographical maps that include thorough Mandarin annotations. And you'll see those here. So China's like, okay, Here's what's going on in your country as in regards to natural gas, shale gas, energy. They lay out a map for them with anodes. It's color coded. Hunter, here's what we need. We need this, and this, and this. They laid out a map for them. Circling territories of the United States of America. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
China.
Bruh. Documents show that. I got Scott Horton coming on tomorrow. We're going to be talking about this tomorrow with Scott Horton, so look out for that. Documents show that Hunter Biden personally interacted with CEFC officials to facilitate the deal. In a November 8, 2017 email, Hunter Biden wrote, CEF official, I hope that you have received the information I sent regarding the liquefied natural gas opportunities in the state of Louisiana. Chad, the state of Louisiana. He's selling your state out to
China.
The proposal I've shared with you has the added benefit of being good for both the United States and
China
simultaneously. Throughout 2017, in anticipation of selling American natural gas to the Chinese, the Biden family received over $5 million in transfers from the CEFC and its affiliates. These entities were identified by U.S. Senate investigations as essentially arms of the communist Chinese regime. By the end of 2017, the Biden family established a plan to sell America's energy resources to the Chinese, and were getting paid millions of dollars to do it. Committee Republicans believe reviewing SARS in the custody of the Treasury Department will shed light on details of this plan. But Hunter Biden was not the only one involved in the venture. Evidence suggests President Biden is or was an owner, through Hunter, of one of the two corporate entities controlling this joint venture to sell America's energy to
China.
The other corporate entity is or was owned by Chinese nationals tied to the highest levels of the CCP. This was memorialized in writing by James Gilliar, one of the business associates for the deal. He said that what do you say? The Louisiana Purchase is what? The Louisiana Purchase is now the Louisiana sale. Sometimes you got to laugh to keep from crying, man. Throughout this transaction, Joe was referred to as the big guy or other similar names because his part was meant to be kept secret. As Gilliard told Tony Bobulinski, another business associate, on May 20th, 2017, via encrypted communications reviewed by committee Republicans, don't mention Joe being involved. It's only when you are face to face. Here's that, what is this, WhatsApp? I think that's WhatsApp. To be clear, President Biden was not a bystander in the business scheme orchestrated by his son with members of the Chinese Communist Party. President Biden was consulted on this business deal, was made an equity partner in it, met with the management of the planned venture, and shared office space with Chinese officials tied to the CCP. Not only was he in on the deal, an equity partner in the deal, this fool had an office too. They share an office space with the CCP, Chinese Communist Party. You might ask yourself why. Well, communists of a feather flock together. They're all commies. They're all communists. Let's continue. In a September 21, 2017 email, Hunter Biden wrote that Joe Biden is his business partner and provided Joe Biden's personal cell number if the recipient seeks confirmation. Committee Republicans possess emails that show that Hunter Biden, CEFC officials, and Joe Biden would share offices under the Hudson West CEFC Biden Foundation name. And you have that document here. In the September 2022 letter, Committee Republicans requested Treasury provide all of Hunter Biden's SARs connected to
China.
The Department of Treasury did not respond. Committee Republicans have identified one of Hunter's close business associates, Ji Qi Bao, as having close ties to the Chinese Communist Party. Bao attended a Chinese university with close ties to Chinese espionage and, before working with Hunter Biden, was employed by the CCP. The threat of Foreign Intelligence Service gaining access to the president's family is serious. You damn right it is. You damn right it is. We're going to take callers in a second. Get ready. How my Rumblers doing? Shout out to my Rumblers. My Rumblers tuning in. I see y'all. Y'all grifting. Y'all ain't threw me no shekels yet, but it's all good. And y'all ain't paid tuition yet, but it's all good. This information is still going to get out to the public. We still going to report on it. On October 26, 2022, Committee Republicans wrote FBI Director Christopher Wray about the risks of this relationship. The letter highlighted national security concerns with the infiltration of someone closely linked to CCP espionage to the Biden family. Committee Republicans provided Director Wray with evidence of Bao's close relationship to Hunter Biden and her attempts to ingratiate herself with his father. In October 26, 2022 letter, Committee Republicans wrote, Bao provided Hunter insight into purchasing liquefied natural gas reserves in the United States to sell to
China.
Had access to the Biden family's financial information and liaised with CCP-affiliated agents on the Biden's behalf. After infiltrating the Biden family, Bao urged Hunter to encourage Joe Biden to run for president months before he announced, and then supplied the Biden family campaign advice related to
China.
Yo, do the Democrats work for China? Do the Democrats work for China? What is going on here, yo? What? I have to read that again. Hold on. That didn't say what it just said. That's not what I just highlighted on this document, is it? After infiltrating the Biden family, Bao urged Hunter to encourage Joe Biden to run for president months before he announced, and then supplied the Biden family campaign advice related to
China.
All right, let's continue, yo. The SAR details 93 wires between February the 3rd, 2014. God damn. And August the 2nd, 2019. What is that number? Totaling 2.4 million to and from business and associates linked to the Biden family and a Shanghai-based investment fund controlled by the Bank of
China.
The SAR identifies Hunter Biden as a politically exposed person. And you can see that document here. We're not going to read through it. You guys can do that at your own leisure. But damn, a politically exposed person. And then the collusion is written here. Conclusion. Oh my God. This is published November 17th, 2022. Committee on Oversight and Reform. A president compromised. The Biden family investigation. And with that said, we're going to open up the phone lines. Let me go ahead and get the phone number here. Oh my God. I mean, if you want a summary, basically what we can say is that the Bidens work for
China.
202-596-5631. 202-596-5631. Call and hit me up. Let's talk about this. Let's see here. Bong bong. Call in, talk to me. Let's you know, you can ask questions, you know, the whole nine. We'll get into it. Toxic Voxic, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the educational streams. Appreciate you. Chad Lemoyne said 199. It's not lost to me that they're called SARS. Exactly.
Call from
J.R. Bell.
J.R. Bill, you on the line with Hotep Jesus. What's up, man?
Hey, Hotep, what's going on?
What's happening, man?
All good, all good. First off, I wanted to start off with, in order for Uncle Hotep to be reinstated, the Hotep's been told you, he has to eat a slice of pie from Basenberg, Massachusetts.
He got to do what?
He got to eat a slice of pie straight out of Basenberg, Massachusetts.
What is that? Is that from my book?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I love that.
Yeah. So in order for him to be reinstated, he has to eat a slice of raisin pie from Basenberg, Massachusetts.
Oh, shit. That's great.
Yeah, you just went through that whole report, and man, that was just like craziness. But some of that stuff we already knew, especially for me, the one with the involvement with Burisma Holdings. So much so that they had to delete that website that had Hunter Biden as one of the board members. So that was, yeah, that was nuts. But all that other stuff, man, my goodness. Like, yeah, I don't know how, well, maybe I do know how President Biden is not under investigation, because that is corruption at its highest level right there.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. How about the stuff on
China?
Oh, well, especially the last part where he said, hey, they advised him to run for president. But I am not surprised about that, because for him to do that, he had to win. Because if he didn't, wouldn't have been a good look. But yeah, I also am with you on, they should have released this report before the midterms. They should have.
Why do you think they didn't?
For some reason, I think there's some Republicans within there that have some ties with what's going on, but that's a whole nother story. So,
maybe fear of their leaks.
Correct.
Some dirt on the right as well, or maybe a little bit of grace, right? Sometimes people have grace and they say, you know what? We're not going to do this before elections. We're going to do it after elections. Let's have a clean election, right? However, the left was playing dirty. I'm playing. I'm unleashing this a week before elections.
Yeah. I drop it on them, but sometimes it's like you have two wings on the same vulture, as I say. So gotta watch out for that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but that's what I got on that, man. Hotep and Bill.
Hey, Hotep and Bill, bro.
All right.
Call from.
He just hung up. Call back. Call. I'm gonna get you in here. Cash App, $ Hotep Jesus for my Cash Appers. Which reminds me, let me shout out my previous Cash Appers. Chad's gonna call in. All right, Chad, I got you. No worries. Where's my Cash Appers here? Okay. So, Khalid Kuba, consistent. Appreciate you.
Call from.
A white man from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
To accept, press 1.
A white man from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. You're on the line. Talk to me.
Hey. Before you even mentioned that thing about Louisiana, I had already hit you up in the chat that I was going to call in about this because there's some deeper stuff to that. I sent you an email with an article from July of last year about Biden's little favorite 9 governors board that he put together, and the Louisiana governor was one of them. And it was, a lot of it is around the demic and the funding and the testing and all the other stuff and the needles being available and all that. So like, if you were a good little boy and you did your chores, Uncle Joe Biden kept sending you goodies, and it's not a mistake or an accident that, when you look at Louisiana, there's a reason why it was such a big deal when the Louisiana Purchase went down. Like, you've got the mouth of the Mississippi right there, all sorts of natural resources available. And even if you want to pull some of the resources from Texas, you can pull from Louisiana, and you're right there. And one of the places that's mentioned in that document is this place called Monkey Island, which is in Cameron, Louisiana, which is right there on the border, right at the coast on the border between Louisiana and Texas. And a lot of this is that, liquefied natural gas. There's so much of this. When you drive down I-10, which I do like all the time, every week I'm up and down there going back and forth to Texas. There's tons of petroleum industry, petrochemical industry. It all goes well beyond like diesel and gasoline. There's so much of this stuff, rubbers and plastics and everything from Ziploc bags to the stuff that holds your shoestrings, your shoelaces together, the little aglets at the end. Like, all this stuff is made with all these petroleum-based chemicals, and it's just, there's this pipeline. Louisiana has for centuries had some of the most corrupt politics, and it's no mistake that they are part of this little boondoggle as well. And I was just saying, it's deeper than just the natural gas stuff or some of the stuff with Hunter Biden and his shenanigans. There was a lot of that stuff that was like, hey, look, if you give us this little inside path here, we'll give you some funding for this, this testing, these shots, and we just need you to promote that stuff like a good little boy, and we'll get you on the hookup on some of this kickbacks from these natural resources you got there too.
Quid pro quo.
Quid pro quo. At its finest.
At its highest level, in the highest land. What about the fact that China was drawing up the map? Like, hey, these are the sections we want, and a big ass circle around Louisiana.
Hey, listen, where did that stuff that all those tests and shots were needed for? Where did that stuff come from?
Oh man.
China.
We got a nice little triangle built here between Burisma and that, and now what's going down across all these. I don't know. I'm interested to see how this is actually going to go, because I feel like some of this stuff, to your point about this coming up after the election, and why wasn't it dropped before the election, because it could have actually changed some of the results potentially, because there's probably some of the people who were in some of these midterm elections who are involved, who have their hands dirty in some of this stuff. So I can't help but think that some of the GOP folks are in on it. And that's why, you look at that list that I sent you, that article with Biden's governors, it's not all Democrats. There's some Republican governors in there as well. And so, like, the GOP has their hands dirty in this too. So I'm not surprised that they waited until after the midterms, because this makes it to where they can posture now with this, but it's not going to really have any actual dramatic impact, I don't think.
Hold on 1 second. Where'd you send that email?
To your email from
Hotep Jesus?
I don't want to say it out loud. No, the other one.
I am Brian Sharp?
Yeah.
Why don't I see that?
Shit, I don't know. Look in your
let me check my spam.
It's from my
let me
check your spam.
Bruh. They blocking.
Oh shoot, wait, hang on. Let me
it's not. Oh wait, here we go.
I
see it. You got a new email address. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, you found it?
Yeah,
right.
I found it.
Yeah. So anyway, that's it. I'll get off so somebody else can call in, unless you want to keep me on to ask me a question or anything like that.
Hold on, I'm about to stay right there real fast. Let me just get this on the screen so we can look at this while I got you. Got you here. Hold on. Let's go here. Let's change this. And let's go to... Is it this one? Yeah. Okay. Chad, you there? I think he just cut out. So Biden relaunches Council of
I'm here. I just muted my phone. Sorry.
Biden relaunches Council of Governors with bipartisan group appoints Governor Whitner. So what are we looking for in this again?
It was just his little favorite governors list, and John Bel Edwards,
okay.
Louisiana's governor just happened to be on his little list of good pet governors that he can get to do his dirty work for him. That's what that group is. That's the will do your dirty work for you. Gretchen Whitmer's on there. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of the usual suspects, and then it's those ones that people just kind of overlook. Because I think you go outside of Louisiana, the people of Louisiana either love or hate John Bel Edwards, just like any governor in any state, right? Like people in Florida either hate or love Ron DeSantis. But the thing is, Ron DeSantis is a national name. Did you know who John Bel Edwards was? Is his name in the public eye a lot up in New Jersey? No, probably not. So he's one of those ones where he's taken us to the cleaners on this stuff, laundering money and everything else, and running it all through this. There's a lot of weird stuff with. There's this Orion Labs that does testing. They were paying kids $10 every week to get tested, and then they'd send people home based on contact tracing and all that stuff. Meanwhile, this Orion Labs truck is just bouncing from school to school. That each school had like different days where like one set of schools was on Monday, another set of schools was on Tuesday, and they were testing these kids every day. Meanwhile, they're just getting government money to fund that testing because they're paying these kids to get tested in the first place. How are you going to pay your customers to take your product unless you're stealing the money from somewhere else? You got to keep getting the money from somewhere else. So then you go back and look, and oh, sure enough, this Orion Labs company is actually owned by some people that they got their hands in all kind of stuff with John Bel Edwards and some of the Louisiana Congress people that are state legislators. It's dirty, man. And so naturally he was on the list of like these are the people who they're already compromised, so I got them. I can get them to do my dirty work for me.
Right. Lord Jesus, send a prayer. Amen. Thank you for calling in, bro. Hotep and Bill.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Hotep and Bill. Peace.
Yeah, I heard it. I heard the man. Oh my God. Somebody else is trying to call in. Go ahead and call back. Back to my Cash Appers. Kristen Johnson, appreciate you. JC Ennis, I just got your super chat. Thank you. I appreciate you. You're not grifting. Paid your tuition. Contributed to the channel. Isaiah Mascal, appreciate you. Justin D. He said, Hotep to the GOAT. Thanks, man. I appreciate the compliment as well. Kevin Earl Smith, Renee Vogel.
Call from
Cannon.
Cannon Hotep on the line. What up, bro?
What's up, bro?
Good. What's up?
I've been said it, yo. We witnessing the mortgaging of America in real time, yo. Been bought and sold, bro. We've been bought and sold.
Oh, man.
This is the shit that they impeached Donnie T for.
Yep.
The last time.
Yep.
For the first time. Like, this is the shit they took him to court for. This is the shit they tried to get him out of the office for. Right here.
Do you
know that there's some GOP involved in that shit?
Mm-hmm.
That's why they didn't put it out there doing midterms. Because they put it out there doing midterms, they shit would have got aired out too.
Indeed, yeah.
Come on, like the everybody know about the Burisma shit,
right?
You know what I mean?
Right. Do you think
everybody knew about this shit?
Do you think we're gonna see an impeachment of Joe Biden?
Fuck, yo. They will make, like I said in the chat, they will make Joe Biden no longer with us before he's supposed to be no longer with us. Before they let this shit get legs and go.
I mean, well,
they will make that nigga be drooling on himself in a home before they let that get out.
So the Republicans officially have the House. So technically the House could impeach him, but what you're saying is he ain't gonna make it. He's not gonna make it that far.
They ain't gonna let him make it that far.
His health will succumb him.
His health will succumb him. His health will succumb him. Even if it's expediently will succumb before him before they let that shit go down like that. That's just my opinion on that. It's a lot. Like, come on. We all knew that from the time we saw the video when he was sitting up there on the CFR stage. Talking about you got 6 hours. That was a part of the Burisma shit.
Yeah. What about the fact that this happened? The Regulated Liability Network, which I covered, the Digital Dollar 12-week pilot program, FTX, this, and the RLN network, all the week, like right after elections, all of this stuff comes out. Doesn't that just seem ominous and suspicious?
Bro, it's a play. Something about to happen. Something about to happen. It's all a play. Something's gonna happen before. I don't know. I want to say before the holiday, before we go on break, or for Thanksgiving or something like that. But I don't know. Like, if something's about to go down. This shit ain't just happening because some white hats is out here and fucking looking into shit. This shit is happening on purpose. This is Hegelian dialectics, order through chaos. It's order through chaos. They causing all this chaos, and it's gonna build up to something, or they're using it to hide something. It's gonna get real interesting. Now it's making me think, right? It's making me think that was Nickel Slick really sick at that gala? Was he really sick, or was his ass sick after he found that information was out there? And now they about to make a play against him. It's all chess, yo. All chess. Sometimes they say the simplest answer is the best answer, but in these cases, sometimes the simplest answer is what they want you to think, and then they hit you with some other shit.
Yep.
I think it's gonna get interesting, and there's so much shit coming to a head right now. Yo, something bound to give, and I don't think it's gonna be pretty.
We're gonna have to look out for it. Cannon Hotep been told you.
Also remember when Nancy Pelosi was saying that they were trying to make some changes to the 25th Amendment, and it didn't have nothing to do with Donnie T. Right before the 2020 election. She said that shit.
What's the 25th Amendment?
The 25th Amendment is when they say the president can't perform his job at the official capacity because he can't. Because like either he lost his goddamn mind, or something bad done happened to him. So remember they were trying to alter the 25th, and she said it ain't had nothing to do with Donnie T. So and everybody was speculating that she's talking about Nickel Slick.
Right.
So I don't know. Like I said, a lot of shit be up in the air. We playing the long game, yo.
They
So
definitely playing
it's
the
gonna get
long
interesting.
game. They definitely
It's gonna
playing
get
the long
interesting.
game.
So
You
because this FTX stuff, you know,
you streaming tonight after Hotel's been told you?
yeah, Hotep's been told you after party, right after Hotep's been told you. Make sure y'all go over to my channel, subscribe. Cannon Hotep on YouTube, Cannon Hotep on Rumble.
Make sure y'all subscribe to Cannon Hotep for more reporting around the world, around America, part of the Hotep Nation Network. Appreciate you for calling in, bro. Hotep and Bill.
Hotep and Bill, bro.
And the white man from Louisiana is from Aquarian Anarchy podcast. You guys can go subscribe to them too on YouTube, Aquarian Anarchy. Wealth of information over there. Really, really smart, informed individuals on that podcast. I would just say Aquarian Anarchy is the most underrated podcast of 2022. It's completely underwatched and underlistened to. Truly missing out over there.
Call from.
Yo, you on the line with Hotep Jesus? Talk to me, man. Hey, you on the line? You on the line?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What?
Hey, is Hotep right here?
Huh?
It's Hotep right here. How you doing, bro?
What's up, yo?
Hey, man, long time follower, bro. Love everything you pushing, bro. I promise you, this is what I love. But I just want to come on and ask you, man. Like, this is one thing, like, because you know, I found you from Twitter, right?
Okay.
One thing you told me, one thing you showed me is like they'll always make it a distraction. They will always make it a distraction.
Yep.
Like, no matter how it go down. You brought up that the whole FTX thing earlier, you know, the 12-day with all that, and then this whole what's called going down.
Yeah.
What was I trying to say? Now I lost it. But
So are you trying to say that this report today might be a distraction from the central banking fiasco?
I mean, I really want to figure out is where is the distraction coming from and where does it lead to? You feel me? Because if this banking is what they don't want us to see, then what are they even showing us on the other side? You know? Go ahead.
Another thing I always say is when people ask you, what are you being distracted from? Do you know what the answer is?
Yes, sir.
What's the answer?
No, I was listening. Yes, sir.
The answer is yourself.
Yourself.
They are distracting you from yourself, from you focusing on you and your family. Remember that. Remember, at the very core, the distraction is to distract you from your mission and what you want to do in life, regardless of whatever else is going on in the world.
See, man, I remember when you brought up earlier, right? Because I've been watching the stream for a minute. You was talking about they forgave the student loans. They was talking about how the Republicans just won this and that, and then they try to hide this whole Biden son, crackhead fucking word, crackhead fantasy life. They try to hide it. Yeah. I seen they put that story on. I think it was NPR. I think I seen it on your page. They said it was just not a story. That is definitely a story. That's 100% a story. I ain't never had another story other than that. You feel me? So I'm like, they try to give us the most. But why are they trying to hide the most at the same time? It don't make sense. But I think like when you look at it from a winner's point of view, from the top down type shit, they got to do something. And now that I see them doing something, they got to be struggling. They got to be on something else.
You nailed it. You nailed it. You nailed it. They got to be struggling. This is why the white pill is elite. This is why we will win. This is why people need to be optimistic about our future, because all of this stuff is symbolic of the fact that these people are struggling. You nailed it. You nailed it.
Hey, man, I'm really glad I got to speak to you one time, bro. I hope to ever meet you one of these days, but I'm gonna leave the lines open for someone else.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
Hotep Khan.
Talk about it. Where's that at?
You got to come out. We done had 2 of them already. That's our annual event. You got to get a ticket. If you get the early bird, you get them for less than $1,000. You over there where?
I'm over here in Pittsburgh. Is that on the East Coast?
Oh, we in Vegas, baby.
Hey, I gotta make a trip.
You gotta make the trip. Stay tuned to the channel. We'll be announcing HotepCon tickets in February or January, probably right along with the Grifties.
Hey, big dog, appreciate you, man. Hotep up, man. Hey, all love. Keep it going, bro.
Much love. Hotep and Bill.
Yes, sir.
Call from
lines is hot
Get
today.
therapy.
Scat, you on the line with Hotep Jesus? What's up, man?
How's it going?
Life is good. Talk to me.
Well, this is a little bit of the same thing I said yesterday, right?
Okay.
A lot of compromised people on both sides.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A lot of compromised people. There's a lot of business going on around there in a lot of states. And them states go both ways.
Yep. Yep.
So that's what I'm seeing. And just to touch on what the earlier caller was saying, you got to look at what both news are not telling you. It's like these people should be covering this, but they're not. And these people should be covering this. Whatever they're both not covering, that's what they don't want you to look at.
Bingo. Bingo.
Well, it's like, okay, this is what you got to see. They say that on the right. This is what you got to see. They say that on the left. But I don't think either one of them are going as deep into what you just covered. Neither are one of them. Neither one of them. And they should both be going like knee deep. They should be like needing like those waddlers that you need to fish that go all the way up to your waist.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
that's how deep you gotta go in. It's like above the knees. You gotta, because it goes very, very deep. And to touch on another thing you were saying, these people, these collectivists, want to topple the system. They want to sell you a utopia, and the way they sell you a utopia is to paint our reality as a dystopia, saying it's useless. It's useless to do anything. They're too powerful. They're too many. They got too much money. But they are kind of running scared because it's all getting uncovered. And when you look at the amount of people in power and the amount of people that they would have to face when the truth gets out, it's minuscule. They are a tiny, tiny, tiny portion of the population.
Right.
So I really don't like black pills. Like not, these hopelessness pills.
Okay.
Because that's what the utopists like. People on the far right, they tell you, oh, it's all this religion's fault. The other people, oh, it's all this color's fault. But that's just a way to sell you reality as a dystopia that you can't escape from, right? So that they can say you there is, and some people might not like, how I put this, but to me, anarchism and communism are both utopist systems. Like you need a utopia where no, you're just as much
a utopian salesman.
Everything's gonna be fine. Or if we have absolutely all government, no, you can't go 100%. I like a little bit of the minarchy, as little as possible. As little as possible, but you can't unless we get rid of everything, then we're gonna be okay. That doesn't work. You gotta kind of Hotep and build. Very important to not give up, not give in.
Nailed it. Sketch therapy, y'all. Hey man, thank you for calling in, bro.
Peace. Hotep and build.
Hotep and build. Damn, sketch therapy was on fire on that one. He said they promised a utopia. Try to claim that our current reality is a dystopia. And the funny thing about anarchy is you will, I think in the Webster's dictionary, whatever the dictionary you look at, they do mention the word utopia and utopian. Some people try to say anarchy is chaos, but anarchy actually promises a utopian, just like communism promises a utopia or a utopian society. Those things are true.
Call from
Mervyn.
Yo, you on the line with Hotep Jesus? What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing, brother?
Life is good. Talk to me.
So look, man, I heard all the callers. I heard what you had to say. At the end of the day, you trying to dissect what Trump said, the investigations into the Bidens, this, that, the third. None of this shit matters, bro. It's all puppetry. It's all WWE. So when are we really gonna stand up as a people, white, black, yellow, doesn't fucking matter? When are we all gonna stand up and say enough is enough? And when are we gonna say we're done with the fiat currency, we're done with the banking elite, We're done with this enslavement system that we're all being indoctrinated into. When is that going to happen? Instead of just like doing this whole puppetry WWE bullshit where we're just like dissecting all this shit and it leads to nothing, because all this shit's pre-planned and none of this shit matters. So what is the point until we all stand up and say enough is enough? Because we're going to be enslaved to this shit until the fucking cradle of the grave. So none of this shit matters.
I love it. So what's the game plan?
The game plan is we all stand up. We need the military. Do you see what's happening in Brazil right now? Now, that might not be organic, granted, but that's a start. That's a fucking start. So the fact that our military hasn't stood up and done shit years ago, that should be a big fucking red flag. Now, Brazil might be complete bullshit. I'll give you that. But it's like, dude, what are we doing here? It's just like every other week there's a new storyline that Fox runs with, that CNN runs with, that this runs with, that runs with, and yada, 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 yada. Dude, Trump got bailed out by the Rothschilds or the Rockefellers. I forget which one. I think you said that prior. This is all puppetry, my dude. Like, what are we doing? And so we all come together as communities. We don't know how to do shit. We don't know how to farm. We don't know how to do shit without fucking daddy government helping us out. So what the fuck is the point? I'm tired of struggling paycheck to paycheck. I'm tired of this shit. And all I see is, oh, Trump announced I'm running for 2024. Who the fuck cares, bitch? I'm struggling. This shit means jack shit at this point. I'm tired of this shit. When are people going to stand the fuck up? You know what I mean?
Go off. I feel you.
I'm just saying, bro, you got a big voice, and I've called in before, and I've said some shit that I probably shouldn't have said on YouTube, and I apologize for that.
It's all
but
good.
At the end of the day, I sincerely apologize for that, because that's not professional, and that's not the way to go about it. When you're trying to, I think in your words you've said before that you can't, there's a certain type of way to red pill people, and you can't just bash them over the head with a club. You got to slowly tell them the information and get them hit to what's going on. But at the end of the day, dude, I'm tired of this shit, bro. I got children. I've been struggling my whole fucking life. I've been homeless, and I'm tired of this shit. I've worked so fucking hard, and people around me are still wearing masks in Pennsylvania and don't give a fuck about what's going on. So when is shit gonna change, brother?
Your new name is the Angry Patriot. When you call in from now on, you say, yo, it's the Angry Patriot on the line.
Yo, yo, I need to laugh, yo.
That's your new name, chat. We got the Angry Patriot on the line right now. Hey, listen, man, stay strong, stay hotep. Things are gonna get better, I promise you. We on the job, man.
Hey, look, I'm trying. I'll leave you with this, right? So, does it not make sense that they gave us Trump, right, in 2016? These C-elections, rather elect. We do not select anybody. They tell us, they give us two options that are essentially the same. And they say, they give us oh, okay, you want that person more. There's been fractional reserve voting for years and years and years. So does it not make sense that they gave us this guy and they made him out to be the prophet, and he said what we wanted to hear since 2016 till now? And then obviously what happened in 2020 happened, and then we got what's happening now. Do you not think it's going to go so far to the right to where we have this super, super hardcore right-wing Christian type of Reich that's about to be installed? Do you not feel that?
I think it's plausible. I think it's possible. I sort of welcome it. I don't know about the Reich part.
Bro, I don't know if you want to welcome that, bro. I don't know if you want to welcome that.
Why not?
It's definitely better than what we got now with the far left, but it's like, why can't we just get what's duly owed to us? Why can't we just get that? Why can't we all come together and just say, fuck these people?
I'm with that.
You know?
That's what Hotep and Build is about. It's about, staying Hotep, building within our community, and gaining those skills to be independent of the system. That's exactly what it's about. I'm with you 100%.
So how do we build on that? How do we, like, what as me as a caller, what would you like me to do to try to? Because I've told people about you. I've told people about Hotep. I've tried to spread the message. People don't want to listen to it. So it's like, what can we really do to try to get everybody and galvanize people together when they're so brainwashed and they've been so indoctrinated?
Well, you have to remember the movie The Matrix, and in the movie The Matrix, they didn't just unlock people willy-nilly. They unlocked people that were curious, people that were inquisitive, people that were seeking the truth. And these are the people we want to have discussions with. People who are hardcore left. You're not going to change their mind. People who are sturdy in their convictions are not the people you necessarily want to attempt to convince, because it's a losing battle. It's like swimming upstream, right? So we want to avoid those situations and spend our time with people who are either in the middle or on our side and start building with them. The first piece of advice I have to tell you is you sound like a young man, so you have a lot of time ahead of you to make your life better financially, spiritually, and emotionally. So what I would say is focus on the skill building. Figure out what you love, study it, and study it hard, and build your skill stack and build the skills that complement that skill. And eventually what will happen is you'll become marketable and you'll be able to rise amongst the economical strata and be useful to people like yourself. And then you can exchange those services for resources or, some sort of currency to help you climb up that economic strata, right? So that's what I would suggest. Focus on yourself. Get yourself right in a position where here's the scenario I always ask people. Let's say you ran into another angry patriot and they were homeless. Could you house them? Could you feed them? Could you house or feed them for a night, for even one night? Could you give them a job? Could you make a phone call to get them a job? If you're not in a position to do that, put yourself in a position to do that. That's what I say.
Right. Look, that brother, that advice is gold, and I've tried to follow it to the T, what you just said. And believe me, maybe it's just the state, maybe it's just the area I live in, but I've tried my absolute hardest, and it's just I run into, I'm not a right wing, I'm not a left wing, I'm not Republican, I'm not Democrat. Those are two wings of the same bird. These are two options that are given us by the establishment that essentially just do the bidding of the banking elites. So I try to explain this to people, and they don't want to hear it. They want to say, oh, the white hats are in control. Oh, cue this. Or, oh, you got to just trust the plan, yada, yada, yada. I'm trying to break through to these people, and they don't want to.
Don't talk to those people.
Okay, but then I go to the other side, Hotep, and they don't want to listen to me because I'm an Italian guy that's white. So there's nobody I can find, bro.
Don't talk. Talk is cheap. Don't talk. Remember what I told you. Rule number 1 is build yourself up. I'm going to show you another example. And I've said this before. Nobody listens to the guy who ain't got no money. But if you pull up in a Lamborghini, all of a sudden they got a whole lot of questions.
Bro, well, I'm trying, bro. I've tried. I've busted my ass for so long, bro. I was homeless at 18. Like, I'm 27 and I got a roof over my head.
Oh my God, you're 27.
I work 7 days at work.
Can I tell you? Let me tell you. When I was 27, what 27 looked like for me. I was 125 pounds, living on my friend's couch, working at Olive Garden, bro. Barely making it. Then I got fired from Olive Garden because I went on tour and my boss was jealous that I was in Miami. Okay?
Damn.
I know what it's like to struggle.
Did you have kids? Did you have kids?
I had 3 at the time.
All right, damn. All right, you got me on that one.
I had 3 at the time. So at 27, trust me, you're not going to really see your golden years until you probably hit 30, 33. Trust me, life is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You're not going to find it's just,
you know what?
Put one foot in front of the other, little by little.
I apologize, bro. I put so many hours in. My kids don't even know because I put so many hours in just to feed them.
I know.
And it's like I'm just very frustrated, and I apologize. So
no need to apologize.
I appreciate the knowledge that you're dropping. So yeah.
I know the struggle, man. Stay strong. The angry patriot, y'all.
Yeah. I appreciate you, bro.
All right, yo, Hotep and Bill.
All right, Hotep and Bill.
Oh, man. Stay strong, people out there. Stay strong out there. Life is tough, man. It's hard out here, especially in Biden's America. I know it's hard out here, man. I see my income take a fucking mean hit this year. So I already know. Man. That's the Angry Patriot, y'all. I know somebody else is trying to call in. Go ahead and hit that phone line now. The phone lines are clear. What's today? Today's Thursday. It's Hotep Thursday, ain't it? Yeah. Oh, I'm not scroll to the top of my list here. 302 is trying to call in. 302, we got Delaware trying to call in. Delaware, go ahead. Hit that phone line. Call me back. Let's get you back on the line here. Shout out to my Rumblers. Rumblers kind of quiet over there. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. We got, how many we got over? 57 over on Rumble, 279, 281 now, watching over here on YouTube. Tough conversations we're having. Really tough conversations we're having, but they need to be had. I know what it's like to be struggling at 27. Really tough. Really, really tough times.
Call from
Rudy the Vet Russo.
Rudy the Vet Russo, you want to allow my Hotep Jesus? Talk to me, man.
Good afternoon, brother. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, man. What's up? What's on your mind?
Hey, today's conversation, like the crypto, I called for the first time for education. Today, tell the Angry Patriot, breathe, brother, breathe. You're 27. It's not anybody who thinks that there's voting your way out of this or we're going to get back to normal is delusional, man. You're delusional, and I just want to break it to you like that. Not that it all is lost, but you are delusional if you think that anybody voting in Republicans is going to help you. Because look at what the snakes did. Before the new Congress comes in, what did they go do yesterday? They rushed in there while they have the votes before the more MAGA members might get in, and they voted McCarthy and they voted in McConnell for leadership to keep the Uniparty solid. So anybody who thinks voting your way with an R or a D is going to save you is lost, man. But tell Angry
What's the way?
Breathe. He's got to breathe, because there are people like you, people like me. There's groups of people out here, and not like we're violent but we're prepared for when shit hits the fan. You understand?
So if voting's not the way, what's the way?
There is no way. It's by design.
So how do we
you write in your report, the Patriot Report, and I sat back and watched some of your breakdowns when you break down and you do the voice of the old school guys.
Yeah.
And I love it when you do that, but you've seen it was been stolen. Like, man, when you go into Andrew Jackson and everybody talks about and I'm with you 100%, best president ever, crushed central banking, man. There's no point in having a Federal Reserve and a Department of the Treasury when they're supposed to do the same job, correct?
Correct.
And the Treasury is supposed to be the bank. Isn't that supposed to be the government control?
Yeah.
And especially some of those videos you showed where Bernanke was on stand and Bernie Sanders is asking him, yo, where's the money? He's like, I didn't got to tell you shit. Come on. Now, the Angry Patriot, you can't get mad at. I mean, you guys just voted in. I mean, I understand it's frustration. You live in Pennsylvania and you just voted in Lurch from the Addams family. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I understand his frustration when you're looking at people and you're like, you see everything crumble, and you got to get with your wife, your family. You got a good group of friends that if things go south, you form a little community. I moved to the middle of nowhere. I was from Norfolk, Virginia, a city guy. I moved to the middle of nowhere, North Carolina, and have met nothing but good people where if things go bad, this guy knows how to farm. Me and my wife raise chickens. We grow as much of our own food as we can. There's fresh water everywhere. We're strapped to the teeth. We got Hotep Jesus, Dave. Hotep Jesus. But I just want to tell Angry Patriot, breathe, man, breathe. It's all about self-sufficiency and individualism, and you'll find groups of other people who are self-sufficient and individual and share morals. and then you guys can hotep and build, and things are going to be all right.
Oh, that's
things are going to
love.
be all right.
That's love. That's some great words for the Angry Patriot, man. I appreciate you, Vet.
Yeah, anytime, brother. Anytime, man. Hotep and build. About to jump in the rig for a 12-hour shift. Love you guys. Peace out.
Get it done, Hotep and Bill. Oh, man, we got some of the best callers in the planet calling in right now. So another person trying to call in. We're going to let them call in and then start to wind down here.
Call from
Jason Jackman.
To accept.
Hey, what's up, man? You want to allow me, Hotep Jesus? Talk to me.
Yeah, Hotel. My name is Jason. It's nice to meet you.
Pleasure. What's up?
Second time listening to your show. So everything that you guys are talking about is pretty much spot on to what I've been thinking about. I did think voting my way out of it was plausible at one time, but I do think that they have it so far in the bag that it's almost impossible for us to really do anything. Now, I started looking at some anomalies, like why are things going the way they are going? And I kind of found a crazy idea, and I didn't know where to bring it to until I started listening to your show. I know a lot of people have probably heard about the CERN reactors. Now, the Large Collider that's out in Europe. Well, if you look at the first time they started running it, which was in 2008 till about 2013, the financial crash happened in 2008. Now, if you look at the next time when they started running it this year, on the exact date that they ran it, which was April 26th, if you look at the market in the Dow Jones, it fell 1,000 points the first day they ran the reactor. I was watching this kid talk about basically parallel realities and all this stuff. I don't know if you guys are like, really into that or whatever, but I kind of found it that
Go on.
Found it interesting that those things kind of were going on at the exact same times. I had no idea why all of a sudden men are thinking they're women and women are thinking they're men, and what could be causing this thing in our life. And what are your thoughts on that?
Oh man, I don't usually dive into stuff like that. But I enjoy listening to it. I enjoy learning about it. I'm familiar with CERN and HARP and all of these different, technologies. And I'm familiar with that theory. I've studied that stuff like years ago. Like you said, this 2008. Yeah, I've heard about these theories, and I think they're rather interesting. And, sometimes, like I've been telling people, it's like somewhere around like the Trump era, or maybe before that, like we went through a wormhole and shit got really weird really fast. So, if you think it's the CERN thing, I can't really say it's not, because it sounds like a good explanation, because why else is shit just really weird so fast?
Well, I just remember going to school back in the 80s and everything like that, and you never heard about school shootings. You never heard about any of this type of stuff, and then all of a sudden things just started really changing kind of towards like, the end of the, kind of like around the time Barack Obama kind of got in. And I just, things are so dire, I just don't even know who to talk to. Like the Angry Patriots, like I try to talk to everybody. Like literally, I have ostracized myself from my Facebook friends because literally I was the popular kid in high school. And then when I saw this stuff going on with Trump and the election and the same stuff that's going on with Carrie Lake, and she's running against somebody that literally has control of the voting process there. I mean, how is that even right? Or how does nobody even, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I don't care if you're a Republican and it's happening to a Democrat. It's the election process. Like, how are we supposed to ever, believe in a fair election process if we can't even trust the people that are doing it? And it's just like, where do we go? What do we do? And I know that you said, build yourself up, which I do agree. I've built myself up. My kids have, 2 go-karts, 2 dirt bikes. I have a car. My wife has a car. She has a nice car. She has a motorcycle. I have a motorcycle. We're working on getting our own house now. I have helped friends that were homeless and stuff like that, giving them a place to stay when they needed it. All that. It's just no, and I'm one of the smartest people that I know. That's why I started reaching out to people like you and watching this type of stuff that I watch, is because when it comes to trading, technical analysis, I've classes and courses and try to say, hey guys, this is what I'm learning. You guys are going through difficult times now. Like literally, I made $26,000 in a 24-hour period on ApeCoin's launch. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to help, and I'm posting everything that I'm doing on Facebook live. Like, hey guys, this is the trade that I just made. Here's my stop losses. You know, and just nobody cares, man. They just don't care.
You gotta come to Hotep Nation, man.
Yeah.
Gotta come to Hotep Nation, man. This is the stuff we talk about in our Discord. We have a thread in there for investing and a thread for crypto. We'd love to have you, man.
No, I'm definitely gonna join. And this is the thing though too is so my mother, you know, she has like a lot of, you know, life insurance policies and annuity with AIG, and AIG was part of the 2008 financial collapse. And so we started looking at, you know, all of her financial advisors and stuff, and they, over the last couple of years, they weren't giving her any good advice because in November when things started going downhill, her financial advisor said, yeah, just keep everything in because technically it's just going to go down, but in a year or two we'll see some returns. And I'm like, that's horrible advice to give a woman that's 65 years old. I mean, I would at least say, hey, listen, you know, give her some alternate strategies. Well, we pulled out the investment that he had her in went down 30%. And so the same thing with the AIG with her annuities. We just pulled that out. And luckily, you know, she had to take a $5,000 market correction to take out her money. So she had $100,000 in there and went down to $79,000, plus having to take out a $5,000 market correction in this type of environment where we're dealing with inflation. It's just like, you know, they don't leave us very many alternatives. Nobody's really trying to do the right thing anymore. So, you know, we are definitely looking to try to, you know, have some place to invest the money. And that's why I've been going hard with the courses, because I'm like, who else is going to care more about my family's money than me? And yeah, I'm here with you guys. You know, I'm here with you. I feel you guys.
It sounds like you know what you're doing. It sounds like you have your heart in the right place. And you just got to have faith, man, and hold on. Things are going to get better. Things are going to start to make sense. And, you know, we got the Hotep Nation community. Like I said, you know, if anybody that wants to join our Discord, you know, you can donate as much as $1. And once you donate, then you get invited to our Discord. Yeah. That's how we keep spam and bots and, you know, infiltrators out. But yeah, we'd love to have you talk to people because it can get very lonely out there. I know what it feels like. Trust me.
Absolutely. Well, it was nice talking to you guys today, and I'm going to keep listening to the show. I just wanted to call and say I'm here. I'm going to join the Discord, get in there with you guys, start trading, doing, you know, and I'd like to learn more about the stuff because I've seen what you said about how you literally in one of your lives, I think it was the one talking about the CBDCs, which is another thing that I'd like to hear after you talk about the elections and stuff. But how you're talking about literally the only thing, you put everything aside and just started learning about literally how blockchain works. Yeah. And it's really hard because with trading, like I started moving more towards cryptocurrency. And but I learned though, like with this whole FTX debacle and everything like that, I kind of lost a little bit here and there. But you know, my thing was just it's a lot of learning to do, and I just constantly want to continue that process, and I'm constantly looking for people that know more about it than I do, and it's a constant journey. But thank you guys.
Yo, bless up, man. Hotep and Bill.
All right, bye.
Man, calls are heavy today. The calls are heavy today. Steve, thank you. He said $5 super chat. Appreciate you. He said good work. Hey man, you know, after I get off of here, I'm gonna whip up an article for menoforder.com. Today is my day to publish, so I want y'all to go check that out.
Call from
Local Design Labs.
Yo, you on the line with Hotep Jesus? Talk to me, man.
All right, Hotep, here's the thing. I'm going to go with this last call about the CERN. Now, there's a couple things going on with that. The Mayans had the calendar ending at 2012, and the elders, when we're asked about that, said we'd be going into a new type of era. And then in 2012, the CERN, they moved some neutrinos faster than the speed of light to from the particles collider to a laboratory in France. So the thing is, Einstein said he calls the speed of light the cosmic constant, and he said that if anything ever went faster than that, it would either destroy the universe or would go backwards in time, because nothing could go faster than that. So and also they found that God particle in 2012 that they claim the universe is built on. So I just thought it was interesting that the Mayans and Einstein and the CERN all kind of like seem to flow around the same area. And so that last caller reminded me of that, so I wanted just to call in with that little information.
Man, y'all heavy on that stuff, man. I'm with you. It sounds plausible, man. Some big brain scientific stuff, Einstein and all of that. I'm here for it, man. Keep digging, keep finding research. I love to see more and more evidence, more and more proof, man. I appreciate that.
Well, the world just seems different, and I agree with him. Ever since the Obama time, more or less, it's just everything's just different, man. Everything's all just evil as hell, basically.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like the CERN collided and opened up a wormhole or a portal, and the devil came through that motherfucker.
It's a lot of people believe that, and they had all them videos. The CERN was putting out them weird little videos with kind of like occultic meanings and stuff too, and that was kind of odd. Why would they do that? But I'm going to leave it there, Hotep, man. I always listen to you, man, so it was a good time calling, man. I appreciate your answer.
Hey, thank you, man. Hotep and Bill.
Call from
Steph Colonel.
Steph Colonel, what up, bro?
Yo, it's good. How's it going?
Life is good, man. Talk to me. What's up?
Hey, nothing much, man. So, let's see what I wanted to say. I actually wanted to, I had a real good Kufi on type yesterday, but I ended up missing you guys. I ended up missing the stream, like, later one night. But, for today, just want to let everybody know, don't get too wrapped up in, Joe Biden is being investigated and the Hunter family, the Biden family is being investigated, because honestly, it's grifter season, right? Like, we've seen all the videos on YouTube that have like millions of views and this little sound bites and whatnot. The sound bites involving, my bad, I'm losing my train of thought, I'm all over the place, but just a little sound bites when Hillary Clinton's being investigated and the Republicans asking the questions, or the quote hard-hitting question, and nothing happens. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nothing comes out of it. So people just need to take it for what it is. This is just the GOP or the establishment just trying to save face with the base that clings on to them and that keeps being attached to them, that just keeps riding with them and the talking points and shit. So just leave it exactly for what it is. You know what I'm saying? No, I don't think anything's going to come from it except just sound bites. You know what I'm saying?
So you think nothing's going to come of it, huh?
I don't think anything. I don't think you're not going to see Hunter Biden get arrested. You're not going to see nobody's coming down. Like even the last 2 years with COVID and the jabby and whatnot, our rights have been trampled on. Our rights have been trampled on. They don't care about consequences. People don't care about paying billions and billions of dollars of fines for their actions. So I mean, what are people expecting? What more should people expect at this point? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I hear you. Trust me, I hear you. I also think nothing's really gonna come of this. I'm very hopeful something comes of this, but I don't think anything's gonna come of this.
If it does, I mean, at bare minimum, if it does, it probably isn't going to. It won't mean too much. We'll be like, oh my. Some people like, oh my God, finally justice is being served, and we're just like, really? Well, they'll do a little bit of time in prison or something like that, some pennies. You know what I'm saying?
What if this is just a way to bring Kamala in? Say, all right, you'll impeach Joe Biden, get him out of there, bring Kamala in. And then now we got our first black woman president. She'll run again. They'll get Oprah behind her and Stacey Abrams and whoever else for the 2024. Do you think that's plausible or not?
It is, but even so, like, I'm gonna try to see where they would go with that, because technically, like, Kamala wouldn't have a chance in hell. In 24, Kamala doesn't have a chance in hell.
Right.
I cannot see it. They would.
No, I can't see it. The only way she actually would have a chance is if the GOP just continued to, suppress Trump and suppress like the organic populist uprising within the party and stuff like that. If they continue to do that and be effective with that, that's the only way I can really see Kamala win. Because otherwise, honestly, if that was to happen, like we won't even deserve Trump. Whatever comes after Kamala or whoever or what other Democrat you put in there, we fucking deserve that shit. I'm sorry. we deserve it, but as long as we keep ourselves together as a community, as long as we stay put, like you always say, Hotep's always going to eat. So I mean, I don't trip out too much about a lot of this shit, but to get other people to understand that don't go putting your eggs in one basket, because we see what the history is shown already. If you go back just 2 years, you ain't got to go back 30, 40, 50, just go back 2. You go back 3, 5 years. It's right there. You can see it.
Yep. Always a pattern.
Now, exactly. Now, let me tell you about my Kufi on site real quick.
Okay.
So, what was it? Yesterday, the banks announced that they were going to be testing the
12-week pilot program for the RLM.
12-week pilot program.
Yeah, CBDC technology.
It's not a pilot program. It's a fucking countdown. It's a countdown. All right? Here we go. It's a countdown. It's a countdown. People better prepare. My advice, if you have a shitload of money in the bank, better start pulling that out slowly over time. Slowly over time. And also, guess after the 12-week period, guess what week it just happens to fall under?
What week?
Super Bowl weekend.
Really?
12 weeks from this announcement, if they implement this within this week to February, I think Super Bowl is February 7th. Remember that? Super Bowl weekend, 12 weeks from now.
Wow. Yeah, Sketch. Yeah, I would move the money into assets, right? Yeah.
Yep. Move the money out these big banks, and especially the ones that are participating. Move that shit out. Only leave in there what you plan on doing normal business with. You have to use your debit card to pay your bills and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do not have 5, 6, and 7 figures laying in there. Move that shit out slowly.
Yeah.
Because just like you said, if anything at this point, and honestly, the way shit is going now, anything can jump off at this point, and you don't want to be caught out there, being in super long lines trying to get your money out the ATM. You don't want to be looking like China. Remember, it was a few months ago, China, they closed up their banks and they had a whole bunch of people waiting outside.
Yeah.
People protest because they can't get their money out the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get caught up with the bullshit. Stick to the real shit and stick to the game at hand. You see things for exactly what they are.
Yes, sir.
And that's it.
Hey, man. Appreciate you for calling in. Hotep and Bill.
Hotep and Bill, bro. See you.
And with that, the phone lines are closed tonight. Uncle Hotep is back off suspension for another episode of Hotep's Been Told You. He had a 2-week suspension for the sins of his brothers, Ye and Kyrie Irving. So he's back tonight for another episode of Hotep's Been Told You at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Tomorrow I'm speaking to Scott Horton about foreign wars, foreign policy. That's going to be an amazing talk. It's going to be here on this channel. I just got the artwork for the thumbnails, so I'll be throwing those up and scheduling that out. So look out for that conversation. And I got Lord Miles coming on next Tuesday. A lot of great content coming to the channel, so make sure you subscribe. Likes and comments are cool, but hit that share button and share with somebody who needs this information. Been great discussion. Great call-ins today. Love interfacing with the people. So I'll see you tonight at 8 p.m. Hotep and Bill.
You hear a lot of people say this, and I totally agree with it. They say
fail fast, and it's so true. But it also ties into the procrastination conversation. What is procrastination? Procrastination is nothing more than the delay of the gifts that God is ready to present us with. And we're saying, no, we're not ready for those. How about tomorrow? Because when you're on your path, you're doing what you need to do, you tend to be in alignment and the gifts come abundantly. So that's why sometimes we say, hey, fail fast, because if you started the project last Monday, you would have found out that the piece that is missing takes a week to come in the mail, and now your whole project's been pushed back a week, you can't even start. But if you started on Monday, you knew, oh, I'm missing this piece, so it'll be here next Monday, and now you can begin working on your project. Fail fast ties into procrastination very quickly. Also, you have a lot of people that are afraid to fail. They're afraid to make mistakes. But you have to make mistakes. You have to fail. That's the only way you learn. That's the only way you gain experience. So I want people to fail. I want people to mess up. Don't be afraid of messing up. A lot of people want perfection straight out the gate. You know, you start a podcast or a show, and the first one, they want it to be perfect straight out the gate. That's not possible. Just go. Done is better than perfect. Fail fast.